Welcome back. Now let us solve the question number 4 on CKS, Killer Shell Exam Simulator. Question number 4, task weight 8%. So there is a deployment container host hacker in namespace team red, which mounts run containerd has host path volume on the node where it's running. This means that the pod can access various data about other containers running on the same node. To prevent this, configure namespace team red to enforce the baseline policy security standard. Once completed, delete the part of the deployment mentioned above, and then check the ReplicaSet events and write the event or log lines containing the reason why the pod isn't recreated into the specified file. Right, so we could see this is all about the pod security standard, and so this is the hint for us to solve this challenge. So it is basically to configure the pod security standard. It's a baseline standard on the namespace level. So the best way to handle this is by enforcing the pod security standard at the namespace level by adding the appropriate labels. So before we start, let's switch to the given context here. And let us inspect the pods first in the team red namespace to see if the pod is running. Yes, the pod is in a running state. And let us also see in the YAML file the pod manifest to look at the volumes, and as the question states, it is mounted with the host path as run containerd, which is not recommended. Right, so we need to take help from the Kubernetes documentation first, because it is about a label on the namespace level. So we'll go back here, and then kubernetes.io/docs, and we'll search for pod security standard namespace. And I'll go with the first result. It sounds like the one that we are looking for with the namespace labels. Right. So it does have 3 different types of security pod security standard, which we can control using the labels on the namespace level, baseline, restricted, and one is kind of unrestricted level. So here they have instructed us to use the baseline pod security standard. So it is all about adding this label to the namespace level. So this is the one that we are looking for. We can do this in 2 ways. One is editing the namespace manifest file, or can use the imperative commandlets to do that this way. Since this is namespace, will not have a ton of information on the YAML, so I'll stick to the way of editing the manifest. So Kubectl get namespace team red. It's there. So now I'm going to edit the namespace, and under the label section, I'm going to add the ones that we just copied from the Kubernetes documentation, and simply save the changes. So it clearly gives us a warning saying that the existing pods in the namespace team red violate the pod security enforce level baseline latest. And it also states the reason here. So what we need to do is it's just kind of auditing. It does not really terminate a pod or any resources that violates the policy. So let's now go ahead and delete uh, the pod now. So let's get all the pods. It's still running. We have only one pod running with that name. So we will now delete the pod. Based on the name here, I believe it is either part of a deployment or replica set. So deleting a pod, the deployment or the replica set would still work behind the scenes to keep them alive or bring a new pod to life. So a new pod should be coming up. As I mean, a deployment set. Yeah, the deployment's job is basically to keep the replicas alive. So the existing pod is deleted. Now let's look at the pod. So we don't see any new pod running because if the baseline pod security standard, what we have applied, if it is working, then it should not allow the violating pods to come to life. Let's now describe. Okay, first now let's get everything in this namespace. So in the team red namespace get all. So it is part of a replica set as we see. Let's describe the replica set now. So describe replica set is container host hacker. So it clearly says with the warning that the pod it is trying to bring up, this one is failing, is forbidden because it violates the pod security baseline standard with with mention saying host path volume container data. So this is all we needed. So it is all working. And to fulfill the question, so we need to be writing this bit of information to the logs wherever it is stated. So I'm just copying a couple of lines from here. And let us write this to opt course 4/logs. And then I'll write this, paste this information, save this file. Just to make sure it is in the right file, I'll open the file. Oh, come on. I'll open the file. And we have now updated the file with the reason, which is basically the event or log lines. So that's all for this question, and thank you for watching.